Picture this. You wake up to a sunrise that never comes. The air is thick, the ground is shaking, and a distant roar grows louder by the second. Scientists have warned about it for decades. Now it's happening. The most powerful volcano on Earth is erupting, and the planet's future will be decided in the next few months. In this episode, you'll discover the chain reaction of disasters this one event could unleash, from a year without summer to the collapse of the digital world you rely on. And by the end, you'll know exactly why experts fear it more than an asteroid strike. What if the Earth cracked open tomorrow? Could a single explosion plunge the planet into darkness and chaos? Welcome to Bright Minds Station, where curiosity meets catastrophe, and survival is just a question away. In today's explosive episode, we're diving into a scenario so intense, it could reshape life as we know it. What if the world's most powerful volcano erupted? We're not just talking molten lava, we're talking global ashfall, food collapse, and a new dark age. From Yellowstone's ticking time bomb to a volcanic winter that could freeze the world, we'll break it all down. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and join us here at Bright Minds Station, where science meets imagination and sometimes extinction. Now, let's light the fuse on this molten mystery. 1. The beast beneath Yellowstone. The Yellowstone caldera in the US is no ordinary volcano. It's a supervolcano, with a magma chamber stretching over 50 kilometers wide and several kilometers deep. If it erupted, it wouldn't just level a region, it could trigger a global catastrophe. The initial explosion would exceed the power of 1,000 Hiroshima bombs, sending pyroclastic flows racing across hundreds of miles and turning everything in their path into molten ruin. Ash clouds would punch into the stratosphere, blocking out the sun for months. Trees would incinerate, rivers would boil, and an entire ecosystem would be obliterated within minutes. It would be one of the deadliest natural events in recorded history. To put this in perspective, scientists estimate that an eruption of this magnitude could eject over 1,000 cubic kilometers of material into the atmosphere, enough to bury entire countries under meters of ash. Historical supervolcano events have been linked to mass extinctions, and Yellowstone's blast zone covers a radius so wide that entire states could become uninhabitable within hours. The energy release wouldn't just be felt, it would be heard across continents. 2. Ashes across continents. Volcanic ash isn't like fireplace soot. It's microscopic shards of glass, deadly to lungs and machinery. Within days of eruption, ash from Yellowstone could circle the globe, covering rooftops, contaminating water supplies, and turning skies gray across continents. Planes would be grounded indefinitely. Electronics could short out. Farmers would watch entire harvests die in poisoned soil. The ash would block roads, shut down power plants, and create a chain reaction of infrastructure collapse. Our modern, interconnected world would be shattered by this gritty, invisible enemy. 3. A year without summer. The eruption would release not just ash, but gigatons of sulfur dioxide, creating a reflective haze in the stratosphere. This haze would block sunlight, causing global temperatures to plummet. Crops would fail due to cold, dim growing seasons. The 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora caused snow in June, and Yellowstone could make that look mild. A global food crisis would follow, with rising prices, famine, and mass unrest. Some climate models suggest temperatures could drop by up to 15 degrees Celsius in certain regions. This wouldn't just affect farms, it would disrupt monsoons, alter ocean currents, and trigger unpredictable weather extremes. Imagine blizzards in deserts, tropical storms in places that have never seen them, and growing seasons cut in half. 4. The domino effect on ecosystems. The climate shift wouldn't just affect humans. Ecosystems worldwide would unravel. Cold snaps would kill plant life. Coral reefs would bleach. Insects would vanish. Rainforests might wither, while Arctic species struggle to adapt to bizarre heat waves between cold spells. Plankton, the base of the ocean food chain, would disappear, starving whales, fish, and seabirds. Food chains would break down. Predator-prey relationships would collapse. The result? Mass extinction events echoing those of the dinosaurs. Earth's biological clock would reset overnight. 5. Mass migration and global panic. As the skies darken and food disappears, human migration on a scale never seen before would begin. Millions would flee eruptive zones, flooding into safer regions. Entire cities would be abandoned. Borders would tighten. Civil wars and riots could erupt over basic resources like food, water, and shelter. In just weeks, the modern world could be plunged into geopolitical chaos. This wouldn't be a temporary crisis. It could redefine civilization's borders. 6. The end of the digital age. With ash storms raging and power grids failing, the technology we depend on could go silent. Solar energy would be useless under a dim sun. Satellites could be disabled by volcanic particles. Data centers lacking cooling systems would overheat and fail. Communications would break down. Online banking, GPS, and cloud-based storage. Without global communication networks, international trade would stall, emergency response would falter, and scientific collaboration would be nearly impossible. Humanity's collective knowledge would still exist, but locked away in inaccessible servers, like a modern-day Library of Alexandria gone dark. 7. Psychological shock and cultural collapse. The mental toll of the eruption would be devastating. Imagine watching cities vanish, skies turn black, and loved ones disappear under ash. Panic would spike, trust in leadership would vanish, and entire cultures could fracture. Some might turn to religion, believing the eruption is divine punishment. Art, science, and education could vanish in favor of basic survival. In the end, we wouldn't just be fighting ash, we'd be fighting ourselves. 8. A race for the underground. In anticipation, world elites have proposed underground survival bunkers, complete with food, energy, and medical systems. Only a small, wealthy fraction of humanity could escape underground. This could trigger class wars, as the majority are left to suffer above ground. What once symbolized safety might become the very image of inequality and betrayal. Over time, those underground might emerge to a world unrecognizable, or find themselves the last survivors of a lost civilization. 9. Can science save us in time? Modern science has improved our ability to detect early warning signs, like earthquake swarms, gas emissions, and ground swelling. But even if we had weeks of warning, there's little we could do to stop the eruption. Some theories propose cooling the magma with water or drilling vents to release pressure, but these are risky and untested. It's not about stopping the eruption, it's about surviving what comes after. 10. The new world after the blast. If humanity endures, what will our new world look like? Fewer people, different values, perhaps a return to simpler living. Perhaps new leaders will rise, born from ashes rather than bloodlines. Science may leap forward in the face of desperation, or society may fracture forever. What's certain is this: a supervolcano eruption would be a historical reset button, triggering changes we can't fully predict. But from devastation comes opportunity, a chance to rebuild a smarter, more sustainable civilization. So, what if the world's most powerful volcano erupted? It would be a cataclysm beyond anything we've faced, one that tests our strength, resilience, and unity. But even in darkness, humanity has always found a way to endure. This isn't just a doomsday thought experiment. It's a reminder that nature holds the ultimate trump card. Could we survive such a catastrophe? Could we adapt fast enough to prevent civilization from collapsing? I want to hear your thoughts. Which part of this volcanic chain reaction do you think would be the hardest for humanity to overcome? Leave your answer in the comments below. Your theory might inspire a future episode. And remember, at Bright Mind Station, we don't just imagine the future, we explore it. Subscribe now, ring the bell, and be part of the community that asks the big questions before the big events happen.